Hi, my name is Preslin. Welcome back to my channel, and let's go through every autograph book that I have. So I don't have that many, but the ones that I have, I hold near and dear to my heart. I love autograph books because I feel like the energy that that author has, it's able to go into that book, into my name, into my house, and I absolutely love it. The first is Sadika Johnson. Now, if you don't know me, I am a Sadika Johnson stan. One of my church friends gave me Yellow Wife to read. After that, I read House of Eve, and then it just so happened that Keeper of Lost Children came out right after. I was in absolute heaven. So here is Keeper of Lost Children. Sadika Johnson actually had a talk at Quail Ridge Bookstore in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I went to the talk and she did a question and answer afterwards. And she also did a book signing. So this is my favorite because let me tell you why it's my favorite. Because she wrote Believe. You know, they usually just sign your name, but she gave me a little message. And I absolutely love this author. I think she's like, for sure, top three of my favorite authors. The next is, now this is not an actual like author signing, but I went to Spain last year and I went to this bookstore and they stamped this book for me. Look at it. I am absolutely obsessed. The bookstore was so cute, and I've never read this book before, so I was like, "Oh, I get a book I haven't read before," and they were able to stamp it for me, and they gave me a book card, a bookmark, not this one, but they gave me another one. So, and that trip was so special to me. It is truly where I just was so happy. We got to go to Madrid, we got to go to Sevilla and Barcelona. Madrid was my absolute fave. This is where the bookstore was located, and I absolutely love Spain so much, and I look forward to going back. The next is Kennedy Ryan. I am absolutely obsessed with Kennedy Ryan. She has a book coming out May 19th, I believe. It's called Score. And she's already announced that she's signed multiple books at page 158 Books in Wake Forest. It's a bookstore out there. You best believe on release day, I'm going to be there so that I can get my copy of the book. I'm very excited about it. But Before I Let Go was so special because one, they had a book event, Quail Ridge Bookstore had a book event at NC State University, a question and answer, and of course you could get the book signed afterwards. But Kennedy Ryan was so kind. I remember like I went up to her and I was like, "Hey, I was able to read Before I Let Go right after going through some really tough grief, and this was one of the first books that I read that actually openly spoke about grief. And while it was hard for me to read, I really appreciate your writing." And she gave me a hug, and I really appreciated that. This was honestly the first book I've ever read. And it's not a grief book. So it's not a book that talks about grief like black and white. However, if you are someone who lost someone that you love, it's very honoring in the way that she speaks about grief in this book. So it's really sweet. And I was able to share that with her and she signed it for me. Let's see. And she also signed Real for me as well. And Before I Let Go, she actually wrote my name, so that's quite special. But yeah, and also I have my own book club, and sometimes we meet at these really cool places. We met at Pure Soul in Durham. It's this vegan restaurant, and there was this woman there who was selling her own book. Like, and I was like, I could not believe it. So of course I had to support her, and she wrote my name in a cute little note. Her name is Tammy Mills, and she said, "To Preslin, believe in yourself. God bless. 2025. Jesus is Lord." So I thought that was really sweet. This is my first like full message, so I was happy to support and happy to have my name in the book. This is not technically a book. However, I went to see Moulin Rouge with Meg Thee Stallion last month in New York City, and the play was absolutely phenomenal. Afterwards, well, actually during the intermission, one of the girls looked at me and she was like, "Hey, are you trying to, she saw my vinyl. She was like, "Are you trying to get Meg to sign your vinyl?" And I was like, "Yeah, girl. I saw like the TikToks about it. I saw people like, getting pictures with her, and I was like, I would just love if she could sign my vinyl." But I was like, I have no idea where to go. She was like, "Once this is over, leave out of here and go to your left." And I was like, okay. So once the play was over, it was over like 10:30, 10:45 ish. We left out of there, went to our left, and the security guy was like, "Hey, this part is really crowded. If you go over to your right, she's going to come right to you. You'll have a better chance of her signing your stuff. I was like, are you serious? He was like, yes. So we go over to our left. Do you know, an hour later, we're waiting. Meg Thee Stallion comes out, and eventually she goes, like, she starts off at the right of the barricades. However, eventually she comes over to the left. And it just so happens that the girl that I was standing next to, she had on Meg Thee Stallion's costume, Zitler, in Moulin Rouge. And so Meg Thee Stallion immediately, like, beeline to her, which was perfect because I was right beside her. So as soon as her and the girl had their interaction, I plop my vinyl there, and she signed my vinyl, and I was just like, oh my god. And not only that, 30 seconds, like, people would get their stuff signed and they would walk away, but I was like, I really want a picture as well. So after she signed my vinyl, she would take pictures with other people, sign other people's vinyl, and they would walk away. The crowd got a little, like, smaller and smaller. And so I want to say I waited like maybe 30-45 seconds, and I was like, hey Meg, can I take a picture with you? And she was like, yeah. And we literally just took a picture, and I was like, oh my god. And literally, I lie to you not, like 30 seconds later, she was gone. So I was just like, I was so gracious, like so happy. She was so gracious in that moment. But I'm absolutely obsessed with Meg. The play was phenomenal, and I'm so glad I got a chance to see it. Authors that I would definitely love for them to sign my books, I would have to say for sure Danielle Allen. I have Big Girl Blitz. I have Plus Size Player. Also, as you can probably see, I'm gonna bring you over here. I am a romance girl through and through and through. Oh, Britt Bennett also signed my book. I went to an event with Britt Bennett last week, and she signed my book, The Vanishing Half. I'll show you. Look at it. Yeah. So I would absolutely love for Tia Williams to sign one of my books. I would absolutely love for Danielle Allen, Christina Forrest. She also has a new release I'm looking forward to reading this month. Sarah Jakes. Yeah, I'm obsessed. So yeah, a book that I'm looking forward to hopefully getting. Last month, I attended this event at Durham Public Libraries with this book. If you remember Jim Crow South, years and years ago, there was these versions of what's called the Green Book, and they were basically Black people's guides to safe places to patron, to go to if you're on a road trip, i.e. haircuts, barbershops, hotels, restaurants, safe places that you can go, and during a very, very divided and racist time frame. So there's this guy, I believe his name is Alvin, and I believe it was in 2022, he took a road trip using a guide from the Green Book written all those years ago, and he did it in 2022. And I attended a talk with him at Durham Public Library, and when I tell you it was absolutely phenomenal. I am a Toastmasters girl. For 1 year straight, I went to Toastmasters, did not miss a Tuesday meeting because I really, really wanted to work on my public speaking skills. I have all my little, I got all my little things, right? And I was actively listening for a ah, and so, and like. When I tell you that was probably the most perfect speech or talk I've ever attended. Mind you, I attended Kamala Harris's speech in April for her book just a few at that point a few days before. So I'm just consuming all this information. And Alvin, he was absolutely amazing. And Durham, they posted in Letters Bookstore that they have signed copies of this book. So you best believe next week I'm making my way to Letters Bookstore. Hopefully I can still get a copy of that book, because if he is such a phenomenal speaker, I can only imagine what he is as an author. And I'm definitely interested in what that journey was like for him. And his talk, it was so good. So I can only imagine the book being an extension of something so beautiful. So yeah, that's all the autograph books that I have received. I have some artwork in my bedroom, just one piece of artwork that I did get an artist to sign, specifically J. Cole, but I'm going to keep that one near and dear to me because I love J. Cole and I love the art, and I don't want to, like, just blast it on the internet. But yeah, I look forward to the next video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.